You want to wait until I tell them are you on?
Yes,
okay.
Go ahead.
So as we get started, I guess I want to make sure that everyone knows Barb Carroll and I have been working on this since February. We've been working for the last 4 months to put this together and put together the script and the graphics. And I can say that Barb is clearly the mastermind behind it. I'm the behind the scenes girl. She presented at National Convention. That makes me petrified. So I was the behind the scenes girl for that as well. So what we're going to do tonight follows the script that we've actually put together, and then we've actually done live several times with a lot of good success. So we're really excited to share it with everyone. For those of you who sat in Barb's session at convention, it should be really similar, although the party might have my flair instead of her flair there. But for tonight's purposes, we're gonna have a mock party where I'm the consultant and Charlene is our party hostess. And I have 4 or 5 people that are gonna be guests. And outside of that, I'm gonna ask everyone else just to observe, because we don't typically do Zoom parties with 32 participants. They're really intended to be a home party on the internet. So they're really meant to be a small, intimate setting that you can develop and build relationships with your hostess and with the guests, much like a home party is. And what I think, for those of you who have done home parties, I constantly tell myself, I'm doing a home party. This isn't a Facebook party. It's very different than Facebook. Even though we started on Facebook, and we might end on Facebook, it's not a Facebook party. It's meant to be intimate and personal and build those relationships that are sometimes missing in the Facebook world. So bless you. As Charlene said, for those of you who have questions, please hold them until the end. Hopefully you grabbed a notepad and a pen so you can take notes. Please hold all your questions to the end. When I ask for a few people to participate, then I'll be looking for those 5 party guests. I see Ginger made it.
Yes!
Yes! My party guest, I'll have them introduce themselves, and I'll call on them, but I won't call on everyone that's on here, just so that we can, for lack of time. So anyway, I'm glad that you're here. And the other key to this is hostess coaching your hostess ahead of time with Zoom. So Charlene already knew how to do Zoom, but we hostess coach today. That's really the key to making these parties be a success, because once your hostess sees how easy Zoom is to use, she's going to tell her friends, oh, you got to come and join us via Zoom. So it makes that, it takes that piece out of there. I shared all the graphics on Facebook that we made. We are not graphics gurus by any means, so please feel free to use those to make your own. And if you make better ones than we did, please share them with Barb and I. We would love them, because we're not graphics gurus. So, but hopefully you can use those to get some ideas leading up to it. I tried to do everything except for the one post and this little description exactly like a Facebook party. So I'll do my best to keep it like a real live party. So the other thing is, if you do share any of the graphics with your teams, if you're team leaders, please just don't post them anywhere publicly until we know that everything's okay. Barb and I, she's fine. She knows I'm doing this, but I just want to make sure that we don't step on anyone's toes anywhere. So without further ado, we'll get started. So, okay. So I'm going to start the party now. So, hi everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jan Thayer, and I'm your consultant, and I'm so excited to be here tonight with Charlene.
Hi.
Her share these awesome books with you. So I see a few of Charlene's friends here, so I'm going to call on each of you, because it's a little bit easier when you're using Zoom, so we don't all talk at the same time. And I'll have you introduce yourself and tell me the names and ages of the children in your life, and I'll take a couple notes. So let's see. I see Janice here. Janice, can you tell us introduce yourself and tell us a
Hi,
little.
I'm Janice, and I am Charlene's oldest friend from college.
I love
And
her.
we lived across the hall from each other in the dorm our freshman year.
Mhm.
And
So fun.
I have 2 grandchildren, Kyler, who is 8, and Chloe, who is 6.
Okay.
Love you, Janice.
Oh, love you too, Charlene.
Mhm.
Very good. Well, thanks for joining us. I'm excited to help introduce you to these books. So then I see Susan is here. Susan, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, Susan.
Hi, Charlene. I'm Susan. I'm Charlene's friend from church, and I'm excited to be here. My kids are 22, 22, 19, and 13, so they're getting a little bit older, but I also shop for lots of nieces and nephews.
Great.
Very good. Very good. Well,
Thanks for
welcome.
coming.
We're glad to you could join us. And let's see, I see Melody is here. Melody, tell us about
Hey,
yourself.
Melody.
Hi, I'm Melody. I'm Charlene's sister,
My
and
sister.
I just love supporting my sister. So I'm here. I have 2 girls I'm shopping for, ages 7 and 9. Hi, Charlene.
Hey, Melody. Thanks for coming.
that's-
Mom's here too. Our
Oh,
mom.
Oh,
good.
tell
Well,
Mom I said hi.
Let's do Mom next. Mom, tell us about yourself.
Well, let's see. The best part of this is I got to see my daughter, and I have 12 grandchildren I'll be shopping for tonight. They are ages 10 to 13. That was a big spurt there. So I'm very excited to be here. But, sweetie, I got to stand in for a minute. I got to get the buns out of the oven.
Okay, Mom. Thanks.
Very good. Your mom looks remarkable. I'm like,
Yeah. She's a
oh, and
very,
now she's changed.
very
quite a bit.
young grandma. Very young.
Yes, she's a
grandma.
very young, hip grandma. That's good. And then I see some Ginger here.
Ginger. Hi.
Hey, Charlene. I mean, I could actually walk over to your place. Is it echo?
Yes, you are echoing.
You are in stereo.
How do I stop that?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I don't know. You must be too close together.
Ah,
Everyone who's not talking has to mute.
There you go.
oh,
Very good.
okay.
Well, thanks for joining us. I'm very excited that all of you are here. And we'll go ahead and get started. First, we're going to play a fun little game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you, I thanks to all 5 of you for sending me some fun 2 facts and a fib about Charlene. So I'm going to have you I'm going to tell you something about Charlene, and then I want you to type in the chat box whether it's a fact or a fib. Now, if you do you see the chat box? For those of you, does everyone see the chat box on the right side of the screen?
Or the bottom.
Or the bottom of the screen. If you're on a phone, it will show up differently. So we're going to go through these. If you can't find your chat box, let me know. So the first thing is Charlene is afraid of frogs. Fact or fib?
Green, slimy frogs.
Green, slimy frogs. Okay. I've got a few answers. All right. It looks like everyone has answered. Close enough. Charlene, is that fact or fib?
It's a fib.
It's a
I'm
fib.
not afraid.
Okay.
I don't like them, but I'm not afraid.
Okay, good. Good, very good. Let's see. Let's do another one. Charlene loves to skydive. Fact or fib?
Where do you want me to put it?
Okay.
Mostly fibs.
You. Oh, we've got fact, fact, fact. Let's see a few more. How well do you know Charlene?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes
Does
even
anyone
learn something at these parties.
Susan, you want to say something?
I wanted to ask if anyone knew where the chat box is located on an iPad.
If you tap the screen for those, I can't do it on mine right now, but if you tap your screen, you should get some options and see if you can go to the 3 dots. And then there should be something that says chat. Do you see it?
No, but that's okay. When I do my 3 dots, it shows raise hand or disconnect audio. And then there's a few other choices that show up, but none of them are chat. But that's okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
We'll look into that and we'll make sure to get that out afterwards.
Yes.
So, okay.
I'll
it
figure
says
it out later.
It says click on participants. Do you see participants? You click on participants, then Lauren is saying, or Danessa is saying.
Oh, there it is.
Very good. Okay.
Good job.
Okay, so Charlene, is that fact or fiction?
That is, I love to skydive is total fiction.
Okay, that's a total fib also. So
Total
good.
fib,
It looks like a
total
lot
fib.
of people think that you would be a skydiver, so you might want to try that.
Yeah. They don't know me.
Okay, let's do another one. Let's see how well that you guys know Charlene.
Okay.
Charlene plays the stand-up bass. Fact or fib?
Fact or fib?
Oh, someone says boo. They were sad that was a fib with the skydiving.
That's Camille who likes skydiving.
Yes. And Jan.
And
Okay.
Jan, oh my.
Fact, and we've got half facts, half fibs.
Okay.
A lot of fibs. So, Charlene, do you play the stand-up bass?
Yes, I do. That is a fact.
Very
Not
good.
very
amazing.
well. Not very well, but I do play.
That's a fun fact. Well, good. Well, that's fun.
A
It's fun to
little
learn a
fact.
little bit more about you and to see how well your friends know you or
Right.
don't know you.
I
So,
don't know me.
I left the embarrassing ones out, so we won't do that.
Thank you. Thank you.
So anyway, okay, well, let's get to the books. That's why we're all here anyway. So I'm going to show you my top 10 books tonight. How many of you by show of hands are familiar with Upcorn books before? Have you seen them? I know there were some newbies and some nuts in our pre-party graphics. So I'm very excited. I'm going to show you my top 10, tell you just a little bit about them. I know you're going to love them. Usborne Books has been around for over 25 years. We were Educational Publisher of the Year. 2 years in a row, we're shortlisted for it again this year, and I have no doubt that we will be chosen. But I think that you're going to love the books if you're not familiar with them. I'm excited. If you are familiar with them, I hope that I can show you something new that might become one of your new favorites. So we're going to start with one of my, this one is from our That's Not My series. This is That's Not My Monkey. And I'm hearing something very strange in the background. So this book, we have a whole collection of these That's Not My books. Each of them has great pictures on the inside, lots of repetition. That's Not My Monkey. And its eyebrows are too hairy, and then you can feel what hairy feels like. There's also a little mouse hiding in every picture, so it's a great seek and find book for the little ones. So That's Not My Monkey. Its tongue is too fuzzy, and then you can feel what fuzzy is like, and then you find a little white mouse on every page. So these are awesome. I'm going to share my screen for a little bit and just show you in our flippable catalog, and let me just share that catalog with you as well. First of all, in the chat box, I will put the catalog as I show you books. You might want to click on the flippable catalog and take a look at some of the books that I show you in a closer view. Sometimes you might not like monkeys, but we have lots of other things to choose from, and you might find a different book in that same format that you like even better. So this is the catalog, and I'm going to flip this open and show you some of our
And
fabulous
you're not going to get much of it back. Hey, Nathan, I didn't find the treats to be eaten all tonight.
And and someone is not muted, so I'll just tell you that right now. This is on page 50 and 51 of the flippable catalog. We have lots of different books to choose from. So that's not my monkey, but we also have mermaid and fairy and elephant and train and tractor. Lots of great choices to choose from. So when you get a moment, you can take a look at the flippable catalog as you're looking through some of the books that I show you tonight. My second book that I want to show you is the Animal Hide and Seek book. This is one of my personal favorites. It still has the textures in here, but it also has flaps for the children to open. So this one is got some textures here, curly, the feed. You can see the different textures, but it's also got simple lift the flaps for them to open, and then a duck that's hiding on every page. Hopefully you can see that cute little duck there. So it's working on their visual acuity skills, but mostly kids just think it's super fun to look at. The flaps are very durable, and there's a little duck hiding in every picture there. So really a fun book for kids to look at as they start to grow out of just the textures. This is one of my newer favorites, All Better. And this is a book by Kane Miller. It has these cute little removable Band-Aids. There's one on the front. There's more on the inside cover. And a cute little story. So it says, "Oh no, dog wasn't looking where he's going." And then, if you can see that, and then it says, "Ouch, clean it, kiss it, put a Band-Aid on it, all better." And your little one can put these little Band-Aids on and do it over and over again with each of the cute pictures. It's really fun. If the Band-Aids stop sticking, you can just run some water over them and they start sticking again. Really great interactive fun for your children. One of the things that we're known for outside of our bright colors is our interactivity for kids. We really do try to make reading and learning fun for kids. So we try to have books that engage them in the books so that hopefully at a young age they learn to love books, and then they grow up to love books and think that reading can be fun and not just something that they have to do, if you will. So here's book number 4. This is There's a Mouse About the House. This one was my son's first book long before I knew what Usborne Books was all about. There's a cute little mouse that lives on the front, and he comes out of his home and he follows the dotted lines and he slips through the slot and he becomes part of the story. So as you're reading the story to your children, if they're able, if they're too young, then you can do this. You take the mouse and you follow the dotted line and slip him through the slot on every page and he disappears. It really is great. It helps the children learn to read from left to right, which they don't automatically know. It's great precursor for them learning to write, which they follow the dotted line. And for my son, when he went from board books to regular books, he turned the whole page and the mouse isn't there. So it really worked with his fine motor skills. They don't know any of this. Mostly they just think it's super fun. And they love to slip that little mouse through there. They can still see his tails. And my son would always say, I'd say, "Where'd he go?" And we'd turn the page and he would just almost squeal, "There he is, Mommy," and we read it over and over again. There's cute little lift the flaps in here as well. And at the back, he actually comes, he's looking for his cheese. He finds the cheese, but that darn cat got there first, so he has to go right through the back of the book, and he actually comes out in the back, and it says, "Let's do it again." And my son would over and over again say, "Read it again, Mommy, read it again." All of our books come with a lifetime guarantee, a 50% replacement guarantee. There's also a template at the top, so if you lose the mouse, you don't lose the book. But if you destroy the book because your child loves it to pieces, literally, you can replace it for any length of time, no questions asked, for half price forever. So you just can't get that anywhere else. And I can guarantee that will be one of your child's favorites. For the older children, we've also got some great activity books. This is The Great Wildlife Search. This is super fun. It's got 4,000 animals to find in here. lots of great pictures. So I'm going to open one and show you here. It's got a great double page spread that with beautiful illustrations. And if I show you here, it shows you all the different animals and little tidbits of information about each of the animals that they have to find in this beautiful picture. There's an answer guide at the back. I can tell you, even though it's a children's book, some of them are a little tricky, but it doesn't have numbers. They have to be able to read. So it gets them reading while they're doing their activities. Mostly they think it's just really fun, but look at those pictures. They're just beautiful. And it's laid out like a magazine, so kids just really love to read books like this. So those are really super fun. This is one of my all-time favorites. This is called The Complete Book of Farmyard Tales. If you don't buy any book, this is one of my absolute favorites. This is by one of my favorite authors, Stephen Cartwright. It comes with a read-along CD in the front, so it reads the story to them. One of the things that I like about this book, one of the many things, is if you can see here, it has what we call dual text. So at the top, it has a really easy to read beginning reading level. And then at the bottom, it has a more detailed reading level for those more advanced readers. If your child is a little squirmy and they like to read one more story, Mom, you can kind of read along the top and you don't really lose any meaning. And if they're feeling a little bit more settled and they want to hear more about the story, then you can read the more detail in the bottom and keep them engaged in the story. There's also this cute little duck to find, just like was in the animal hide and seek. Again, working on their visual acuity skills to make them a better reader. This book is what we call a combined volume. So it has 20 stories in one. So it's a really great value. And it has a list of all 20 stories. We sold all of those for $6 a piece. When we came out with this whole book with the read-along CD is only $25, so it's a great value, and certainly one of my favorites. We have another collection of books. This is called our Secrets of the Apple Tree books. For those of you with Chick-fil-A in your area, you may have seen some of these with their Chick-fil-A promotion this past year. These are what we call our Shine-a-Light books. This one is Secrets of the Apple Tree. We have several other books to see as well. This one says, the wind blows leaves off the tree. Can you see who is resting under the leaf pile? And I'm going to use my handy dandy flashlight to try to show you. You can see there's a frog under the leaf pile. So it's a very fun book. Each page has something different hiding. When you turn the page, it shows you the frog in black and white, and it tells you all about it. So as you discover these secrets, if you will, this one says, can you find anything growing on the dead branch? At first look, there's nothing. And then when you use your flashlight, you can see that there's actually mushrooms growing there. And when you turn the page, it's going to tell you all about them and all the different things that live in the apple tree. So these are clever, clever books. I wish I could say that I wrote them. I didn't. But I am smart enough to see a good book when I know a good book when I see it. So here's another one of my favorites. Now we have over 2,000 books, and I will tell you I have a lot of favorites, but I don't say that with every book, and I promise I won't show you all 2,000 books tonight. This one is probably my number one favorite, See Inside Your Body, because it has such a broad appeal. This one is a Lift the Flap book. And it shows you all the different parts. So for instance, if you're learning about pumping blood, it shows you that your blood is the red in the red there, but when you open it up, it shows you not just that there's blood, but there's red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets in there. And so the detail that goes into here, here's what it looks like when you get a cut. Hope you can see that with my fingers there. And then when you open that up, it shows you what actually your body is doing when there's a cut. So our See Inside books give lots of great detail, learning about your body, learning about different cities, all kinds of things. Those are excellent and something that Usborne does really well. Also, our nonfiction is all internet linked. So this is a book I think every home needs to have. This one is called The Illustrated Dictionary of Math. We also have the Beginning Dictionary of Math for kindergarten through second grade. And then we have the Illustrated Elementary Dictionary of Math for really second through fifth grade. This one will go sixth grade into college, really. It covers algebra, geometry, trigonometry, calculus. Each page has beautiful illustrations of whatever it is that you're trying to learn about. So in this case, we're learning non-right angled triangles, and it talks about area of triangles. And then there's an awesome little internet link on each of those pages that takes you out to the internet through our portal in a Safe for Your Children website to learn more about those triangles or measurement or whatever it is that you're looking at. So our internet links, we were the first company to do internet links, and I think we do them better than anyone else. But the internet links make the books appeal to the adults as well as the children. And then my number 10 book of my last ones that I'll show you in depth is the Usborne Science Encyclopedia. Now, if you see one of these books and you like it, then definitely jot it down. We can come back to it if you want. But our encyclopedias are very graphically appealing on the inside. They have great illustrations, which is one of the reasons we win lots of awards for our books. If you're learning about flight, for instance, it tells you all about flight. It helps you learn a little bit about flight. There's a See for Yourself that shows you how to do an experiment to learn all about flight. And then there's also internet links at the bottom with a nice QR code that you can go to learn more about whatever the topic is. So those make the book have lots of appeal, both for your children and for yourself. It makes reading fun for us too. So hopefully after seeing this just top 10 preview, you've gotten kind of excited about some of these books and you think, wow, I want all 10 of those. Or maybe you like the ones that you see behind me. Well, we have a lot of great programs to help you, so I'm going to push those aside, and don't worry, they won't go away. But one of the things that you might be doing is thinking, gosh, I want to support Charlene and I want all 10 of those books, but I can't really afford all 10 of those books. And so what I want to do is encourage you to think about, consider hosting a party of your own. You could do a Zoom-in party like we're doing tonight, and they're super fun and easy to do. And then you can share, you can get free books. I can reward you with free books just for sharing the books with your friends. So what I want to do is, I'm a very visual person. That's, I think, one of the reasons these books appeal to me so much. But I want to show you, or I can tell you how generous our hostess program is, but I kind of want to show you how generous it is, because to me, it's one of the most generous hostess programs of any company I've ever seen. So I'm going to tell you, if you have an average size Zoom party, then I'll show you what you can get for doing that. Now, our books are all different prices. Our average price is about $8. I'm not a mathematician, I'm the book lady. And so I'm going to use $10 as my average for the book. So you'll actually maybe get more than that, but let's assume that every book is $10. So for an average size party, and goodness knows Charlene's friends are not average at all, nor is Charlene, way above average, then I'm going to show you what that means. So you would get $70 in books for an average size party, which is 7 $10 books. I am a mathematician, right? I know you're all impressed with my high math skills. So we have Count to 100. If you see one of these books that you like, jot it down. We can certainly come back to it at the end. So Count to 100 is our first book, great for preschools learning to count. This is one of our popular Sticker Dolly dressing books. This one is Dream Job. We have princesses, dolls, pop stars, you name it, we've got it. This is from our Big Book of series. This one is Big Book of Big Machines. We also have Big Book of spaceships and rockets and all kinds of fun stuff. This one is a great activity book for those of you doing summer travel. Makes a great gift with some colored pencils, drawing, doodling, and coloring. This is great. I'm telling you, this is great for adults as well as children, but it's still a children's book. For those of you who are interested, I know, let's see, Susan was here, your friend from church. We've got an illustrated children's Bible story book that I think is just beautiful. It's got a cloth cover on it and would make an excellent gift for the special child in your life. For those of you who like to color, this is another great one. This is the Big Color by Numbers book, which has lots of great coloring for both you and your child to do. That's 6. And my last book would be Tale of Two Beasts. And this one is a great picture book about learning perspective. So that's $70 worth of books. Can you get a good look at that? That's pretty good, right? But if you have a party during the month of June, I can also give you an extra $50 worth of books on top of that for just getting one booking as well. So that would be 5 more books I get to stack on. So we're going to continue with Lift the Flat Picture Atlas, another one of our See Inside books, but has a great world atlas picture at the back, map. We've also got Cobble Gobble Moo Tractor book. This is by one of my favorite authors, Jez Arborough, and the artwork is just delightful, as well as it's a great read-along for your children. The next one is Ted and Friends. This one is another combined volume that has great phonics readers for your children who are learning to read. We've also got Garden Sounds. This one is a sound book, which, let's see. The sound quality is just amazing of all of our sound books. They don't have that tinny sound that you sometimes hear. And then the last one is from our Wipe Clean collection. This is Wipe Clean Alphabet. We also have activity books, Wipe Clean Numbers, and all kinds of fun activities to keep your children busy with a Wipe Clean pen that comes with it. So that's pretty good. That's $120 worth of books that you would get for an average size party. And that's pretty good, right? But that's not all. On top of that, you would also be able to earn some half-price books in addition to that. So I'm going to show you for the same size party, you could also earn $100 worth of half-price books. So we'll start with one of our illustrated stories. This is illustrated stories from Aesop's Fables. This is a great book for those who like to have a nice gift for their child. Oh gosh, this is one of my favorites. Again, makes a great gift, birthday gift or graduation gift, starting to cook with Usborne. It's got great step-by-step instructions and lots of great recipes. This is I'm a Dirty Dinosaur. This is a fun book to read aloud to preschoolers as well. I know a couple of you have young children in that young age. Those are really fun. For the older ones, the drones. I think I remember somebody saying they had an 8 and a 6-year-old. These drones books are really good for those. All these would be at half price. Again, here's another picture book, Animally. This is great for teaching children adverbs as they're learning how to love each other with all LY words. It's very fun. This is another of my personal favorites, The World of Animals, completely internet linked, all nonfiction. The graphics are just phenomenal. I hope my stack doesn't fall over. When I say it's generous, I'm not kidding. Here's the Write Your Own Storybook. This one is great for your budding writers in your family, great for those late elementary and even early middle schoolers. If you have someone that likes computers in your family, we've got Coding for Beginners using Scratch. We also have Python, great ways to learn some different codes to do some coding. We've got some of, these are great for your young ones as they want to interact with the books. It's a Slide and See book, Under the Sea. We've got other topics as well. And then one last one from our beginner series, How Flowers Grow. These are all, again, completely internet linked, and they're only $5. So very, very economically priced. So this is my pretend hostess stack. I'm going to pretend that someone's a hostess, and if you can see all those books, it's pretty impressive. I can't lift them all at one lift for sure. So by now you might be thinking, oh my gosh, I want to host a party. I'm sure I want to do this. And you might be thinking, I don't even know if I can get all the books that I would like by hosting a party. So another thing I'd like you to consider is you might want to decide to do something like this and join our literacy mission and share your love of our books with people in your area of the country. We have a great Jumpstart Your June special going this month where you can start your own business for only $50, and you really get everything that you need to start your own business and join our mission to help kids get excited about reading. Again, as I mentioned, I'm a very visual person, so I can tell you about what a blessing this business has been to me, but I'm going to show you a little bit about the reasons that I love this business. And you can see if any of these resonate with you. So one of the reasons that I do this business is for my family. And this is a picture of my husband, my son, and myself on my first when I first started with the business. My son is now taller than me. I've been doing this about 10 years, and he has since surpassed me. But I do this so that I can be home with him, even on those tough days when he's coming home from middle school, and I can be his chauffeur or his cook, short order cook, or just to talk to him about middle school and how his day went. So it's really great that I can model my schedule around my family's time. Another reason that I do this is my little airplane to remind me that I love to travel. That's one of my passions. And this picture that I showed you of my family, that was on a cruise in Hawaii that I earned from this business. And I have been able to take them to such places as Hawaii, a Mediterranean cruise, an Atlantis vacation. We've gone to Ireland and Scotland, and next month we're going to Disney. Right now we're working on a trip to Punta Cana, which if you decide you want to travel with me for free, you can do that as well. Another reason that I like this business is freedom. I have the freedom to work when I want, how much I want, from where I want, and I can work and make as much money or as little money as I need to make. But no one tells me when to work. I decide that on my own. And the freedom for me is a really big deal. Well, I won't kid you. It's a little about the money too. For an average size party, which my hostess, I'm able to gift her with all these books for free and half price, I make this much money. Now, this isn't real money, obviously. However, my $100 bill is at the bank. But this is what I make for an average night on Zoom or Facebook, sharing these books with other people. So it's very, very rewarding, both in trips that I've taken or money as well. One of the things that I love about this business is all the different avenues. The Fifth Avenue bar, and it's a wonder that I haven't eaten it, but I did have dinner. But this shows me all the different avenues that are available with this business. So I can do Zoom parties like I'm doing tonight. I can also, today I met with a not-for-profit to do a fundraiser. Tomorrow I'm meeting with a preschool, or talking with a preschool about doing a preschool book fair. So there's lots of different avenues that you can work with this business, and you can decide which ones fit your life and which ones do not. I'll show you my Tic Tacs. I do this because this business is a great tax write-off. Working from home, if you've never done it, there are lots of ways for you to take business deductions for your business that are legitimate business deductions to help you very favorably come tax time. So I definitely like that. And then mostly I do this. One of the things that is a hidden blessing to me is that I didn't know how much I would love to help others. get their business started, and how much I would love getting books into the hands, especially of children that don't have access to books. So this has been a real blessing to me, and I love to bless others with that as well. So those are my little reminders about all the different things that I love about this business. So before we get back to the books and talk about those, I'm going to share a little form in the chat box again, so that you can fill this out and you can submit this to me. I love to give away free books, and so tonight I'm going to do a drawing for a free book for one of the lucky guests here at the party. And what I'd like to do is have all of you fill this out, and then in the next probably 30 minutes, I will go ahead and do a drawing, and we'll give a free book away to one of Charlene's friends. So there you go. There's a jot form there. You can fill that out. It will send it back to me, and I'll do the drawing in 30 minutes. So without further ado, I know you're dying. I can see some questions coming on the side, but can you, if there's a book that you see here that you want to see inside of or you want to learn more about, let's take a few questions. If you have a question, you can either
Can I
ask.
see inside the mouse book again?
Oh, sure. This is one of my absolute favorites. It's got the little mouse. There's also a squirrel. The mouse lives on the front. He follows the dotted line and goes through the slot. And when you open it, he becomes part of the story. Kids just think this is a hoot. And we read it and read it and read it. And he slips through every page all the way to the back. The squirrel is just as fun. He is looking for nuts. The mouse is looking for his cheese. So, very fun. So, all right. Does anybody else have any questions? Now, now we can stop the recording. So that's like a typical party. And then what I would typically do is now ask questions and have people look inside the books. And then I would post a link in the chat box to go back to Facebook once they're done asking questions or looking at the books. We've had parties where people are pretty much done then, and others where people stay on for up to 2 hours, just really poring over the books that they've either seen a picture of but didn't get to see inside. It's almost a teaser when you don't show them the inside and they see something that grabs their attention. And that's been very effective. So, but typically this is where I would then take them back to Facebook. But tonight we'll stay on and answer questions about the format.
Okay, this is Ginger. I want to see if this is going to echo.
Nope.
No. Your echo is gone.
Go figure.
What did you figure out? What was it?
I have no idea. Can you see me?
I can see you.
You can see me?
Yes. You can't be peeking in Charlene's window. I know you're her neighbor, but if you're over trying to stalk her, that's what was happening.
You know, and I wanted to say when you introduced me that woman is a crazy, crazy book lady. She has I think UPS just lives at her house.
She's a book fan for sure. We want to help her get a lot of free books tonight. She is very, very excited to get those free books.
Okay, I'm going to mute and listen.
Okay.
Thanks.
So I see some questions. So from Chris, it says, you will put a link back to Facebook party. Would you at any time add the shopping event link? Typically, when we go back to Facebook, and I've already got the post cinched, and so it will say, here's how to shop, and it will give 3 ways to shop, which you'll see later. I have put the link in here for people who want to. Most of the time, what I found in the live parties that we've done is people just want to spend time looking. And I usually say something like, for those of you who are ready to shop, here's the link to go back to Facebook, and you can, and there will be information there on how to order. And the people that stay on Zoom with me for that up to half hour, I tend to just show them books. They tend to say, now what was that book with the butterfly on it? Or can I see the inside of that Bible? Or let me see that 10 Friends that you showed. Phonics, you said something about phonics. I want to know what that is. So that typically is what a live party looks like.
So Jan, basically you're running a Facebook party alongside this Zoom.
It's really the only thing that posted over there was it's party time, come join us. And then usually I think I had it scheduled at 8:45. It said something about, I think it had let me go look real quick, because I had it scheduled ahead of time for it to join, post automatically. And then I was going to come over and post the links, but the link is in the Facebook description. And then at 8:45, at 8:50 it says shopping time. So at 8:45 it says it's the link for JotForm for those people who came back over. It gives another link to JotForm, and it says that I'll hold the drawing in 30 minutes. And then in the next post that came at 8:50 it says shopping time. I'll be around for the next 30 minutes to answer questions. And then I just leave that up and let people shop. And then it also has, I tell them that they can shop via the catalog, via the website, or via the, and I'll put those graphics out there real quick, or through me personally. And I found that some people just really want to shop through me. Now it's kind of like a home party again. And they want to, now that they've developed a trust with me, or we're having some conversation, then they just want me to help them with their order. And sometimes I'll just go right to the eShow and enter their order for them.
Jan, do you use an email campaign too for those who may not use Facebook?
We have all of the graphics, and we've done I've not done any without using Facebook, but you can share everything, and we did all the graphics. There are some hostesses, I haven't, but Barb has, and she said they wanted nothing to do with Facebook parties, nothing at all. And even when we told them this wasn't a Facebook party, they didn't even want to go to Facebook. And so that was fine. So we have all the graphics so that they're textable or emailable. Okay. And then, yes, you can do that. You don't have to go to Facebook. Really has nothing to do except Facebook makes it easier to collect the people and bring them over here and then have them somewhere to go back to.
Right.
Does that make sense? Yes.
Okay, so somebody asked, how many people do you want to come to your Zoom Facebook party?
I say no more than 15. We tried to shoot for anywhere from like 10 to 12, much like a home party. If you have 10 or 12 coming, you're going to have a good sized party. We've had some really good parties with only 6 people because it's very personal. And the smaller the group, much like a home party, then the more they sit and pour over the books and really ask questions and get to catch up together. If it gets too big, then it's harder to control and harder to get that personal feeling.
Okay. So from Chris, you said you will put a link back to Facebook party. Would you at any time add the shopping event link?
And yes, and then what I mentioned for that is I typically don't put the shopping link unless they ask specifically for it. I would put the link and try to bring them back to Facebook, so then I can end on here's the 3 ways to shop, which I posted out there, one being the catalog, one being the eShow, and one being directly through me through private message. And I found that a lot of people kind of like to do that because now they've developed that trust and that relationship, and so that's where a lot of them like to shop.
Okay. So can you talk a little bit about the JotForm and how you use it? When do you look at it? And
yep, when I look at it when I go back to Facebook. So right now, if we if we went back to Facebook and then people weren't asking questions, I tell them, so if it posted at 8:45, then I would try to do my drawing at 9:15. I tell them I'm going to do the drawing in 30 minutes, and that's what the graphic says too. Sometimes I don't get to the graphic or to the drawing right away because if people are still asking me questions about the books, again, it's all about the books. I will stay here and talk about the books as long as they want to stay on until I feel that they have a really good understanding of the books and have all their questions answered. So if I don't do the drawing until later, I'll still get to it. I don't ever not do it, but I don't let that drive my interaction, much like I wouldn't at a home party. I like to make sure I don't give them the jot form until I've done pretend and my recruiting talk. But then once I do that, I give them the jot form and try to say, if you're ready to start shopping, go on back to Facebook, here's the link, and then they go back and they can shop away. Okay. If they want to stay with me, I'll stay. I've had parties where everyone's done at the end of the 30 minutes or 40 minutes and they're ready to go back to Facebook, that's fine. If they're more familiar with Usborne, then they may already know the quality and don't need to see inside the book. So
Jan uses the free Zoom, and that allows you to do 40 or 45 minutes. 40 minutes. 40. So her party has to stay within that time frame.
And I've had live parties that don't stay within that. And if I see what happens if you have a free Zoom account is it will start counting you down. And when it gets to about 2 or 1 minute, I'll tell them, you have some more questions? Do you want to look at some more books? And if they say yes, I'll tell them it looks like we're going to get kicked off. So go back to Facebook and hit that link again and come join, and I'll be glad to answer your questions. And so far, I've not had anybody say, well, that's annoying, or I don't want to do that. They stay on and continue to look because by now they're interested in the books, just like they're sitting in someone's living room and if they want to see the books, they'll stick around.
Okay.
So.
Any more questions?
So do you follow up with different posts after the party back on Facebook?
The only posts that we do are the ones that are there now that say 3 ways to shop and the jot form. And then that's kind of it. I still will follow up with the customers because that's the other good thing about getting them through Facebook is that you can private message them through Facebook and send them a thank you. But the jot form asks for their email, and I still do email thank yous or private message thank yous then to the people that order. And if you have people that came to the party that didn't order, then you and the hostess will decide who's going to follow up with them. But it's different than a Facebook party. We only do 1 post days prior, and then party day, and then that's it. There's nothing tomorrow and the next day to continue to get them, because our whole purpose is to get them to come to Zoom and not stay on Facebook, if that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Good question.
Mm-hmm. So then how do you do your drawing? So if they're not commenting or something like that on a post, how do you tally up?
They only get to be in the entry if they fill out that jot form. And if you look at that jot form, it asks them, and let me just go to mine so I don't tell you wrong. But it's my customer care form, and it asks for their name, their hostess, how do they want to be contacted, their address, their phone number, and then it asks those questions. I'd love to earn free books for hosting a party. Yes, maybe no. I'm interested in learning more about being the book lady. Yes, maybe no. And then I'd like some information about fundraising, book drives, grant matching, reading incentive. And then it has my contact information on the bottom. And so they have to I have it all as required, so they have to fill it all out. And then once they hit submit, that emails to me. And so I can either have my jot form account open and I'll see those coming in, or I'll get an email every time someone answers. And so once I get finished with the Zoom part, then I go back to the Facebook and answer any questions that might be floating around there. And then I'll pull the Jot forms or look and say, okay, 6 people responded. I put those 6 people in. I use a raffler, put those 6 people in or put their names in a bowl, whichever you want to do, and then draw a winner. And then I post that, or I'll private message them and tell them they're our winner. So, but I never let that drive me away from the customers, if that makes sense.
So how much does that, so how do you get to the Jot form? I mean, I'm not familiar with Jot forms.
If you look at the chat box, it's a free service. I think you can have up to 5 free. And if you move up in the chat box, or it'll be posted back on the Facebook page, you can take that. And I don't mind if you want to like clone it or use it for yours and then just change it to make it yours. But if you want to use that as a start form, we kind of developed it together and changed the wording a little bit, and then we each put our own contact information on there.
So then when they fill that out, it goes to your email.
It goes to my email. So when you set up your JotForm account and you put that JotForm in there, then it asks you what email that you want it to go to, and it'll send to me automatically. So when you create yours, or if you clone mine, you'll just want to make sure to change it to your form, or otherwise it'll still come to mine. I get them sometimes from people who, my team that has copied some of my forms, and then I get one and say, don't forget to change your email, and I just forward it to them. That's why we put the hostess name on there, in case you're doing a party tonight and maybe you have a party tomorrow night and somebody tonight just gets around to it tomorrow. You want to know where they came from if you don't remember.
That's a good idea. So Jan, do you do wish lists with the Facebook part of it?
I do not. I don't do wish list because I try to have them just write down the books that they want, much like, again, a home party. And so I want them to have a paper that they're writing on. And then if there's not much conversation at the end, I might say, so has anybody put any books on your wish list? Or are there any books here that you want to see? And try to stimulate some conversation if they don't ask anything. I haven't had any problem with it, much like if you're standing in someone's living room, there's always a book somewhere that someone is just dying to see. So, you're always talking about the books. And sometimes if there's nobody talking, I might say, oh gosh, I don't know if you saw this, but this one, look at this, look at these pictures in here. And then I might show them a couple books that are my favorites and see if I can stimulate some interest. If I don't, then they're probably at the wrong party. But usually if they see our pictures, they want more.
Yeah, they're excited. Yes, you did a great job on presenting the books. Really good. So how long before you felt comfortable with all the components of the Zoom party to do it all together and still keep your wits about you? It took some practice, right?
It takes some practice. One of the things Barb and I did, when you have a free Zoom, you can get on and let's say Ginger and I are learning how to Zoom. We can Zoom together, or Charlene and I can Zoom together, I think as long as we wanted. One day we must have been on for 2 hours, and we had no idea we were on for 2 hours because we were practicing and working and tweaking things, but it took a little while to get comfortable, mostly with how do you hold the book and it doesn't show backwards, and do I stay this close or this close? It took a little while to do that. You can also go onto the free Zoom and Zoom with yourself and just watch yourself in the camera and see what you look like.
Right.
For me, I hate my glasses glare, but if I take them off, I can't read anything in the chat box, so I just have to get over that. So I have to learn how do I set to not get the glare, and how do I do different things like that. So
just a little practicing. I loved your pretend hostess. I think you did an excellent pretend hostess, which is a little hard to do in Facebook, just a Facebook, to do a
they just
pretend
can't
hostess.
see, and that's why I try to show the books. We decided 10 books is plenty.
Yeah.
You could maybe cut it down, but I think top 10 works.
Yes, I think that's really good.
It's a
And
nice
then have
number.
the flippable catalog.
The flippable, sometimes I will do more flippable catalog, but I don't tend to do more than one shot until the discussion part at the end. And then when people say, now, how do you use that flippable catalog? Then I can screen share that back up again and show them. People love that thing. If you're not using it, people love that thing because it really is like having a catalog in your lap, but it's not on your lap.
So you keep all these things open on your desktop, right? So you can.
Yes, everything's open on my desktop. Sometimes I'm a little slow to get over, but I have my Jotform open so that I can copy and paste that. I have my my flippable catalog in issue or Izu or however you say that. I have that open, and then I have my Facebook event window open. And I have my e-commerce site open as well in case anybody asks me any questions about that, but nobody has. But I try to keep all those things open so that I can flip over to my browser and then copy and paste it into easily into the chat box.
Right.
So,
That's good. That's good. Yes, 'cause you looked very comfortable and not frazzled or anything. So I think that's from practice. Yeah, that's from practice.
It wasn't always like that, and we did practice. I mean, like we've been doing it since February. Now I think I've only done 3 or 4 actual live parties, not just Barb and I practicing. And each time I get a little more comfortable, although the big thing, especially for those of you who have done Facebook or have done in-person parties we just had to keep telling ourselves it's just a home party. If you've done a home party before, it's just a home party. Even if you mess it up, they're going to love the books. Right. If you've only done Facebook parties, then it's a bigger change because there's a presentation piece to it.
Yeah.
But I'm a pretty firm believer, and I don't know if Charlene agrees or not, but I'm a firm believer, and if they see the books, no matter what you say about the books, they're still going to be interested and love the books. So it doesn't matter if you do this style or that style.
Right.
It cannot help the books. And the only component that's missing from this party is they can't hold them in their hands.
Right.
This is as close as we can get to sitting in someone's living room. And people have loved it. I've had grandmothers here. I've had young girls here. I've had people coming from the gym and some that want to block their view because they're doing whatever. But people stick around, and they love it. They really love the connection, both with their hostess and with us.
Jan, have you done Facebook Live before? Have you?
I have.
And you like this better, or?
I like this better because it's interactive.
It's interactive.
When you do Facebook Live, and at a typical party, I probably would have. I was a little nervous because there was 30-some people on, and I wasn't sure how that was going to go. But at a typical party, I would, if I pointed out a book that was for an 8-year-old, I would have said, Janice, your grandson might like this, because I did make notes about all the people. And sometimes I would say, oh gosh, your 7-year-old Melody would love this. I would kind of point or call them out a little bit, much like I would do in a home party.
Well, you could, with the pre-post of the Facebook part of it, ask about their children and their ages, the pre-post, and then during the party you could call them out and say you would love this. You'd know a little bit about them. You could also use the wish list component during the pre-party and post-party type things when it's more like a Facebook instead of a Zoom. And here's a question. Is there a reason you use Jotform instead of Google Doc?
No, I just like Jotform. I don't have any real reason. I still, even though I did a training on Google Docs yesterday, I still don't feel that I can maneuver around in there as easy as I can in Jotform. I don't know why.
Okay.
But Facebook Live is good too. Facebook Live to me is all one way. And so you're giving information, giving, and there's no interaction with the hostess and the guests.
Right.
And they can't see their friend, the hostess, and this keeps them engaged because they can see their sister, mom, daughter, whatever, they can see each other. And so they like that community that it builds, and Facebook Live doesn't give you that. And so that's my, why I like it better. I guess. Otherwise, Facebook Live is good. It's better than just Facebook, in my opinion, but I don't like it as well as this.
I think, personally, I think seeing the books at a close-up and inside and what you think about them is what sells the books. Seeing it and then your opinion about it and why you love it and what you think is neat about it. That's what we do.
The thing that I think is hard about Facebook Live and this is it's hard to show the books and say what you want to say and be reading the chat box. So I give that job to the hostess, and I tell her job is to watch the chat box and answer questions or interrupt me and tell me that there's a question that I need to answer. So she has a job and a part in it too, but she doesn't have to do any work. She just has to make sure I don't miss things, because I find it very distracting on both counts to be trying to talk and then trying to read at the same time.
Yes, I don't think I could do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So,
right. Well, very good. Okay. So any more questions? Last call for questions. Now, don't feel like this is one and done, that you should understand all this. And there'll be time we'll answer questions. Maybe we'll even do another Zoom, a follow-up Zoom on as you try it. Maybe you'll come up with a great idea as you're trying it, or something's not working for you, something like that. We'll work with you on that. But Jan, this was wonderful.
Well, you might find tips to make it go much better. And Barb and I are all ears, because we tried to do it and we bounced it off of some of the people on our team and some of the people on her team, and we kind of worked it together to get input. But honestly, it's always a work in progress. So if somebody has ideas, we are all ears. We would love to hear them. But we are both very excited at how hostesses and guests received it so far. So
that's really great. I'm excited too, because I miss that component of interacting with people on when we used to do live parties a lot.
Yes.
I loved seeing them see the books, and it was great fun. You made friends, you recruited rather easily, and this is the convenience of Facebook with the realness of being able to see people and stuff like that. So that's great.
I will say recruiting leads have been high from these. Like, people go, wow, I like that. And it really helps them develop a relationship with you. So,
yes, right. I'm doing most of my training of new recruits on Zoom these days, and I love it. I think it's great. It works out really well. So, okay, well, we'll go ahead and stop the recording, and we thank you all for coming. It was great, Jan. You did a great job.
Well, thanks
really
so much.
Appreciate you. Yes.
Well, I hope that you get lots of free books from all these orders.
Yes. Sisters,
thank you, Jan, and thank you for inviting me, Charlene.
Thank you. College friend, thank you for coming.
That means the UPS truck will be back at her house.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right.
Good
night, all. Thanks for coming.
All right. Good night.
Good night.